Welcome to my channel. I am GDP, and today we're going to discuss the new Abyss Priest, Ignis. Hello guys, before we get started, I would appreciate if you guys hit that like and subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm. Today we're going to discuss the mechanics of Ignis and what is she used for in endgame PvP. I like this hero a lot. I think she is really good. She has her downsides, she has her plus sides, and you can play around with her energy gain quite a bit. And she's also a very good healer. So before we get started, let's go ahead and read her skills. Starting off with the first passive. This is the stat passive. We got plus 40% HP, plus 30% damage reduction, plus 25% heal effect, and plus 60 speed. The plus 60 speed allows her to become a little bit faster than some of the slow heroes like Garuda and Aspen and all those other heroes, but she also is going to be slower than Russells and Carries and some of those other faster heroes like Drake, Thakwa, Sherlock. She's gonna be slower than those heroes, but there are different builds that you can do to make her faster than energy carry, but I'll discuss that a little bit later on. She gets a heal effect here, so that increases her heals, and she gets a innate 30% damage reduction and 40% HP, so that does make her very tanky, and she's a pretty hard to kill hero. So let's go ahead and go into the next passive here, Life Breath. Life Breath reads, each basic attack consumes 25% of Ignis's current HP to heal 3 allies with the lowest HP by 25% of Ignis's max HP and increase them 15% of damage reduction for 2 rounds. This passive is actually very good. So when she consumes her HP, since it's based off of her own current HP, and the heal is off of her maximum HP, typically she's going to heal more than she consumes if she heals herself. So say she's down at 10% HP, she's only going to take about, 2.5% of her HP, and she's going to heal for 25% of her HP. So she's never going to actually kill herself or really hurt herself that much if she is one of the lower heroes, because when she does heal herself, she will heal more than what she loses, and she'll also provide herself a damage reduction as well as other allies. Now, talking about this heal here, since it is HP based, this means you are going to want to run her HP build. So you're going to want to stack as much HP as you can for pretty big large heals. She has a smart heal because it is targeting the lowest HP heroes on your team. So it does have that bell ring kind of smart heal effect where it doesn't matter who is low, those low heroes will always get healed back up, and that is really good for healers to have that skill there, and that means she's going to be able to sustain your team really well, while also provide a little bit of extra support by giving them a little bit of damage reduction. And this damage reduction does last for 2 rounds, so this means that you can stack this up to 30% damage reduction onto your own heroes, and that means that your heroes are going to become a little bit more tanky than what they normally are. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you are going to heal, say, an A and B Russell, you are going to give him damage reduction, and that means that their A and B on that Russell is going to be even more effective and more likely to provide that -1 damage. This also means that you're more likely to survive Garuda actives. So when a Garuda lays down her nuke from her active, a lot of your heroes will have some built up damage reduction because of this passive, and will be able to live through those bursty hits from the Garuda. So this right here is, I believe, the bread and butter of this hero. Her active is really good, but the basic is pretty much her go-to. It is going to provide you with a lot of sustain and also make your heroes a little bit more tanky. Now let's talk about the last passive here, Eternity of Dragon Soul. When Ignis dies, she will heal the nearest ally hero whose lineup position is the forward slot, takes priority by 100% of the ally's max HP, and increase the ally 100 energy and 100% control immunity. Now, what I have found out from testing is that this hero doesn't die a whole lot. Usually doesn't die really fast unless you're running against an Amun-Ra, and which just means that you're not going to be triggering this passive really. Now, there is one downturn to this passive. I have found that when she is sealed by Terra, she does not release this death passive. I'm not sure if that's intended or not, because normally death passives usually don't get sealed away, like Belrain or Resurrect from Michelle or Sleepless. But for some reason, this death passive right here is stopped by Terra, but that's not much of an issue because in the end game, Terra isn't super prevalent, but possibly could be if you start using Ignis, because once again, Terra does stop passives. So if you do get sealed, that means you will not be healing off of your basic. There is a way to counter that by running a glittery candy bar, but I'll talk about gearing a little bit later on. Let's go ahead and talk about her active skill here. Blessing of Dragon Flame. Deals 228% of attack damage to frontline enemies. Heals the ally with the lowest HP by 50% of Ignis's max HP, and increases the nearest ally whose lineup position, once again in the forward slot, takes priority, 40% of damage reduction for 3 rounds, and 100 energy. So what does this mean? This means when she lays down her active, she is going to lay out a gigantic heal. Like, this thing is a massive heal onto one of her allies, and your forward slot is going to gain 40% damage reduction for 3 rounds and 100 energy. Now, what does this mean by hero in the forward position? What this means by is, say your Ignis is in slot 4, whatever hero is in slot 3 will gain 40% damage reduction and the 100 energy. If she is in slot 3, it goes to slot 2. If she's in slot 6, it goes to slot 5. And I believe if she's in slot 1, it goes to slot 6. But I've never actually verified that. I would never ran Ignis in the front slot. I could test that in this video real quick for you guys. But that is what I found out. Subtract one number from whatever slot she is in, and that's who gets this 40% damage reduction and 100% energy. Same with the last passive. Whenever she dies, whoever is in the front slot of her will get that energy and control immunity. So let's go ahead and move on to her gearing. This right here, I believe, is probably going to be the most basic gearing here, probably in HP Stone with a King of Demons with a 2-2 split. So this gives her 11.606 million HP, so she's going to have massive heals. And then as for enables, you can go with Vitality as your first and fourth enable, and also a Shelter or a Vitality for your second enable. Shelter is probably a little bit more important versus Russell actives as well as Garuda actives, and then obviously for Purify and Unbending Will. So she's going to be healing by a lot, anywhere, I believe it's about 6 million with this build. You could also run, instead of a King of Demons, you can run a Golden Crown, you can run a Candy Bar. Where is my Candy Bar? right here. So you can also run a candy bar, and the reason why you would run a candy bar is if you're facing Sherlocks or Terras, where you need to prevent that seal or dove. That way she can still continue on healing and doing her basic tech to give you guys, all your allies, damage reduction and heals. For a little bit more advanced build, you could go with a speed HP artifact with, which they say, a Wind God. I don't have any Wind Gods, but that's the faction advantage, or faction specific one. You could also go with a Rui Scepter. This one gives more speed and more HP. And then also run a speed HP stone on her. The reason why you do this is you could feed energy into an energy carry and have the energy carry do an active in round 1 and round 2. You could also position this Ignis in front of behind an Amun-Ra, and that way you can guarantee Amun-Ra to have an active if Ignis has energy and Amun-Ra does not. But this build right here is a little bit more specific to specific situations, and the King of Demons slash Golden Crown slash Candy Bar is probably going to be your other build. Where does she stand in the meta? I believe she is probably in the low S tier area. She is a far superior healer than Belrain. Her heals are super potent, but that does mean that she is more susceptible to Amun-Ra than Belrain is. So just keep that in mind if you decide to build her. This means that more likely, if you have a team that has a healer in it, is going to be more beneficial to run her on offense to make sure that you're not facing any Amun-Ras. And then if you're on defense, you can run Belrain, so your enemy can't just slap in an Amun-Ra and counter your team right away, because if they do run an Amun-Ra, your team will probably start killing itself off of her heals. Amun-Ra's healing curse is true damage, and it goes through Unbending Will. So your Ignis will kill your own heroes if you face Amun-Ra. So keep that in mind. Don't use this hero against Amun-Ras. It is just a bad idea. Don't do it. This means do not run her on defense in CCL in the regular arena. She is not a good hero for defense. She's a very good hero on offense, because that means you can control who you fight and make sure there's no Amun-Ras. But she's also going to be really, really, really good in the Trial of Champions. That because she's going to be able to provide your main team with a bunch of sustain, and not a whole lot of people run Amun-Ras in TOC. I suspect that might change once more Ignises pop in TOC, but right now there isn't a whole bunch of Amun-Ras. But yeah, Ignis is a fantastic hero in TOC. She is a fantastic hero in IDA, and she is also a fantastic hero in Guild Wars for sustaining one of your other E5s to make sure that they don't die and they can continue killing those other teams with those attack and HP banners that you are given. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you guys one clip real quick of my Ignis on defense. I set up my team to have Ignis on defense for a little bit, and I had someone attacking me with Amun-Ra, just like I was hoping to, and I was able to record that. So I'll show you guys that clip right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and go into some team fights. I'm not really going to show you guys a whole lot of fights right now, but I'm going to show you some things that you can do with her. So I'm first going to start off by running the King of Demons, because I believe this build right here is going to be most relevant to a lot of people. I know my other team's not going to be relevant to other people, but let's just go ahead and go with my team build. We're going to go with one Russell. I'm not going to run two Russells this time, even though I do have them. I got an Augustus Magic Ball Splendid here. I got my speed attack here. Got speed enables. I'm going to run a Rogan with a crown and full assassin gear. I believe he is speed crit. Yep, speed crit. We're going to run a Drake here with Tread of Lightness just for a little bit of speed. Got a speed attack here for the 2-2 split and speed enables. I'm going to run two speed carries here, speed attack with two Ruiz. And then, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Ignis will be the 6th hero. So let's go ahead and fight this guy right here. Alright, so pop you out. We're going to pop in our second carry here. So for our slotting in this team, I'm going to want to run Ignis in the 6th slot because I want to feed energy to my Russell just in case my Russell gets his energy stolen and he can active in the next round. So we got a bunch of low enemies, or my allies, and then Ignis just healed up my allies to pretty much close to full HP. Really big, massive heals. Gave energy to the Russell right there, and he was able to go into the air. And since she is sealed from that Terra, she was not able to do any heals. And then my Russell does his active there, and then my Ignis should be able to. Oh, she might be able to feed more energy to my Russell right here. Yep, fed more energy to that Russell, and then he goes into the air. Got -1s incoming onto my Russell because I do have an A and B build on him. And she is stacking damage reduction onto the Russell, providing him extra chances to get to that -1. Let's go ahead and watch another fight. The only reason why I'm running speed carries right now is just because that's what I have in TOC right now, and I don't feel like switching to one of the carries to have a Demon Bell. Typically, I would actually run Demon Bell on my second carry, but I'm just not right now. And then Russell does his active here, and he's going to do a lot of damage to these heroes. A lot of heals coming from that Ignis, and we're going to finish off right here. Let's go ahead and look at the damage report right here. So we got a decent amount of heals, more than that bell rain. It would be a lot more heals if the fight was lasting longer, but I am ending really, really fast right now. So Ignis right there just healed all my heroes back to full HP. So that Drake right there, he just got a 6 million heal, went right up to max HP basically. So Russell right there just had his energy drained from carry, and then my Ignis gave energy to my Russell for him to do his active right now, and he's going to be able to kill everyone in the next round. So if you're going to build Ignis, keep in mind of what slot you have her in, because that is actually very critical on where you put her, because she will be able to feed one of your heroes energy. So she's gonna heal herself right here and feed energy to Russell. There you go, and fed that over to Russell. And we got 100 million heals right there. Look at that, more potent heals than that Belrain. Let's go ahead and fight another team real quick. Let's go ahead and fight this guy right here. He's got a Rogan, double carries, and a Garuda. So, if you have a Belrain in your team, it is going to be more beneficial to run Ignis on your offensive attacks. As I mentioned earlier, I think you're going to want to run Ignis on offense, Belrain on defense, because Belrain heals are not as potent and it's less able to get countered by Amun-Ra. Big heals right there. Rogan, Ignis, and Russell were all pretty low, and then that basic attack healed basically everyone right up to full HP. So once again, those heals, you can't get those heals out of Belrain unless she's dead. And those death heals only last so long, and Ignis, as long as she is alive, she can keep providing you those massively potent heals. And I think because of that reason, she is the best healer in the game. Not just because of her heals though, but because she also provides damage reduction, and she can make her heroes a little bit more tanky and be able to sustain through these fights. So I just lost my A and B Russell right there. So now I will be feeding energy into my third slot Rogan. So we're going to have to kill this Garuda here. I think our Drake will be able to do that. So we just healed Drake right there. We're going to be feeding energy to the Drake right now. Yep, Drake has full energy now. That Garuda was not able to pick off my heroes because of damage reduction. This actually might not be going good here. Might be able to win this, might not. If we get a bunch of DMs, we'll probably be able to kill the Garuda though. But we are sustaining through these carries and this Garuda here with those damage reduction stacks. So they're gonna have no active there from Garuda. So we're actually going to be sustaining into the late rounds here. This kind of just shows to you like the power of her sustain. She can just keep sustaining, and just keeping your team here living. I'll also like to mention that when she has a DM, the sequence goes heal and then DM. So she'll heal herself up, and then the DM will tick off, and then as long as she doesn't have 2 DMs on her, or it's one of these late 20 rounds healers. We actually just lost that one, but we'll go ahead and smash this. I guarantee you we will probably have a high win rate against this team. Just do a couple smashes. He actually got pretty lucky killing my Russell really early right there. But yeah, so keep winning here. Got lots of heals, 136 million right there. I bet you if I looked at the heals of that one where we lost, it would have been massive. So we got a lot of damage from Drake right there actually. Ignis doing a decent amount of damage, and then once again 100 million heals off of that Ignis. It looks like we are running over 20 minutes already on this video, so I am going to wrap it up real quick. So if you guys don't feel like watching a 20-minute video, this is kind of the TLDR. Where do I think Ignis fits in the endgame PvP meta? I think she is a low S tier hero, near godlike. The only reason that I can't say she is a solid S tier is because the fact that she is so easily countered by Amun-Ra. You'll just kill your own heroes if your enemy has Amun-Ra in the team and brings them. But she is going to be very good for you on offense. She's going to be very good for you in TOC. She's going to be very good for you in IDA team lineups, like say if you want to do a full priest sustain team, like I have seen in past IDA lineups. She's going to fit really well into that, and she's going to work really good for Guild Wars. And so yeah, so I think she is a low S tier, definitely higher than A tier. She is the best healer in the game, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you guys into the next one.